Now, Gauteng's COVID-19 expenditure for the period between April and July has come in at just over 2 billion rand. It's spread across 13 departments, with the Department of Health accounting for just under 92% of that amount, or about 1.9 billion rand. 80% of the companies awarded PPE contracts were, however, only established between January and April this year. Our reporter Aviwe Mtila is following that story for us. Aviwe, good afternoon to you. And are these numbers in line with the expectations then that the Department of Health had?
Well, Jeremy, I certainly have that report in my hand, that COVID-19 expenditure disclosure report, which was meant to provide transparency and accountability into the procurement processes, but it seems to have done more damage and raised more questions, in fact, than answers. I am joined by the organization Undoing Tax Abuses Chief Executive Wayne Duvenage, just to get more insight. Wayne, thank you for joining us at eNCA. You've had a look at the report yourself, and of course, for me, the worrying red flags there, the companies that appear to have been set up just in time to benefit for the COVID-19 procurement. What are you picking up?
Yes, absolutely. While the report is a good thing in one sense, in another it is, as I said, asking a lot of questions, because there are about 13% of the companies, 48 of them have got over 10 million rand contracts each, amounting to 87% of the expenditure. And then when we start looking a bit deeper, we find these companies have recently been registered on the government's database, or even recently registered as companies with CIPC. Some of them one director. There's one Maponya Medical Services or Solutions, 75 million rand, registered in March of this year. But the big one, Danan, was deregistered. The company was deregistered and re-registered in June of this year only. Gets a tender for 117 million rand, one director, and its address is not in a production area, it's in a residential area. These are big red flags. What we need to see now is get more detail around, well, what did we procure? What is the value for money that we obtained? Could we have got more PPE equipment? And it seems that the SIU agree with us, because they've already started to stop the money flow in one or two of those transactions.
Now, we're talking about huge monies here, of course, 1.8 billion rand. In fact, that has gone to 15% of those companies, essentially. What do we know specifically about them? I mean, you mentioned just a bit about them. What do we know about these companies? Where do they operate?
Well, this is it. We need to now go and do a lot more digging. So what we are doing is sending a PIA application to the Gauteng authorities to get the detail. The message and the detail will always provide the information that we seek. The data is there, and until we get that information, we won't know. So at the meantime, our investigative team is going through the companies and seeing when where they register. As we said, I've just mentioned a few of them. Orly Telecom, 79 million rand transaction is registered in June, the 25th with government. So it seems there's a lot of businesses that are quickly set up to benefit and participate in this procurement. And there's something wrong when that happens. We believe that there's either a lack of expertise, there's a lack of a genuine will to provide the right equipment through fronting processes, and that's what we need to get to the bottom of.
You mentioned some of it, that the SIU is going after one particular company for 39 million, I understand.
Yeah.
But was the due diligence done by government from the get-go?
It doesn't seem that way, and certainly in a lot of them it doesn't seem that way, because if you are registering with the government database very recently, and what we see, the amounts of money that have been procured, it seems that they are dropping the ball when it comes to real meaningful due diligence done on these companies. You have to establish whether A, they have the potential and the ability to provide the services, and B, whether they've been correctly registered and are legally entities.
Well, thank you very much. Wayne Duvenage, the Chief Executive of the organization Undoing Tax Abuse, just detailing the COVID-19 expenditure disclosure report and some of the findings there, as it seems like some companies were just set up just in time, in fact, to benefit from the COVID-19 relief fund process, Jeremy.
And rest assured that eNCA will spend much of this afternoon combing through that report.